Terry signed
Terry signed
an autograph.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Rob, here with Mike and Joe. This is the Hogs, Hops, and Hope podcast. Hot takes, cold beers. Today, definitely zero credentials the way we're rolling right now. Let's go with the kickoff, right? The kickoff. It's football. We kick off. We start the show off with the kickoff. So, Joe, we'll go to you first. What's the hops part of your evening tonight?
Oh, I got a classic.
Yeah, what we got?
I got a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh, dang.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'm going old school.
Man.
Okay.
Did you lose a bet or something?
Okay, but that's crazy because I almost went PBR also. I actually picked some up. All right. So I am clearly.
That would have been amazing.
All right. So I'm on a trip. I'm up in New Hampshire right now. I had picked up a couple of PBRs the other night when I first got here. So I actually had some. And I was like, I could go PBR. Instead, I went and got a local New Hampshire. I don't know how local it is to where I am, but it's a New Hampshire beer. Northwoods Pale Ale. It's actually
Okay.
a Northwoods. I don't know. I can't read it. Whatever. We'll see it on the picture later. But so I went and got something, but I was almost going to do PBR too.
Well, you decide you had more class than that, right?
No, I just wanted to go low because I was pull up like the local in Virginia. So I'm like, I'm in New Hampshire. Let me get a New Hampshire beer. So I got Northwoods.
All right. Well, I can say that I've never had a PBR in my life. And I'm not starting tonight.
No, but maybe next week.
But what I have is I'm following your all's lead. And I got Blueberry Muffin Tart Ale from Great Notion Brewery out of Portland, Oregon.
Nice.
And I was a little worried, but it's good. I like that. It's you could smell it when you pop the can. You could smell it. And the guy says this brand, this Great Notion, that this is the most popular selling brand in at least at the liquor store I was at today.
Okay, nice. So I did almost go get another blueberry because I'm basically in Maine. I'm literally, I don't know, right across the border from Maine, which is known for its blueberries. So I almost got a blueberry, but I didn't.
Okay. Well,
Man, Mike, you're full of maybes and almost tonight.
Look, I could have had PBR like you. I could have had a blueberry ale like him. I instead went with a pale ale.
All right. Well, let's we'll move into the main part of the game, as it were.
Well, like you said, we got to start off with a kickoff, right?
Well, the kickoff.
And we got to talk about how Matt Gay is not kicking very well.
No, we don't.
He's not. He's really not.
And they're not bringing in kicking competition yet. That's it. We can move on. That's enough kicker talk.
That's the kicker segment.
Yeah.
And we'll have Terry talk. So let's get Terry talk out of the way. Terry was at practice wearing a hoodie, and he talked to Adam Peters on the field. That's it.
Yeah, I don't care. Still don't care.
Okay, so we got those two things out of the way. Now we're good.
Well, thanks for joining us. Talk to you guys.
So last week, we know the team had their first preseason game against New England, and I guess depending on how you want to look at things, it was, well, I think most people would look at it and say it was a complete and utter disaster. New England played their starters for a lot of it. Washington did not play their starters. I don't even know what the score was, but it was lopsided as hell. I know that much.
1,000,000-1, I think.
And some of the commentary we got. You guys watching this? don't bother. This team sucks. What the fuck? I can't believe this. The season's over. I'm not watching. Who cares about this game? These guys won't even make the team, whatever. So that was the expert commentary we had during the game.
Man, that guy sounded like he had a ton of credentials.
Not a fucking one. No.
So,
oh boy, that was a bad game.
So we're going to skip over the game because no starters played. It was almost all backups for Washington, and New England had their way with them. So we're not even going to try and critique it. I didn't watch any part of the game, so I don't care. So if we go into current, first of all, they had some signings. They cut some people and signed some people this last week. Who did they cut? They cut a cornerback, Alan George, didn't even know he was on the team. Defensive tackle, Viliami Fahoko Jr., no idea who that was. And they cut Dominique Hampton, who's a linebacker. He was a draft pick in 2024. So they're already cutting picks that they made themselves. And this was a big thing of people talking about how Adam Peters, he's a super genius. He's like Wile E. Coyote, super genius when it comes to the middle of the draft. And Dominic Hampton was a 5th-round draft pick for them from 2024. He's gone. Some of the players they signed 2 quarterbacks, Essang Bassi and Antonio Hamilton, and then a linebacker, Duke Riley. Riley's probably the best known of those players. I did look him up real quick. He was a 3rd-round pick out of LSU in 2017. He played the last 4 years in Miami. And I guess they need some linebacker depth because Jordan McGee is still a little dinged. So they don't have anybody to play behind in the middle. You know, they don't have a backup in the middle. So those are some of the cuts and signings they had this week. Are we concerned about any of that? Players, they're cutting players we don't know, and they're signing players we don't know either. So do we care?
Yeah. So tell
Nope.
Yeah. Who are those?
The only thing I was going to say is it was, I'll give them credit for cutting someone they drafted last year instead of hanging on and trying to prove themselves being super geniuses. It's like, nope, not working out. Let's just cut our losses and move on.
Okay.
I don't know the guy. I don't know if he was bad or good, or it doesn't matter. Give him a little bit of credit for looking at it, and
okay,
they made a mistake and they moved on.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Know when to cut your losses.
Hopefully. Now, if he goes and turns into a Pro Bowler at another team, I'm going to be pissed.
Right.
But okay, I already forgot his name, so I don't have to follow him.
There you go. So you won't even know.
That's right.
All right. So the other big thing, the next preseason game is Monday against Cincinnati. That game's going to be on ESPN, I think. And more of the starters are supposed to play that game. They won't play a ton. They might play a couple series. It hasn't really been determined yet, but starters will play. And so since there was such a big gap between preseason games, Dan Quinn decided to have an inter-team scrimmage. This is something the teams used to do a lot more of back in the day, but he broke the teams down, and what he did is the Burgundy team was the white team, I think, was the first, was the starters on offense and the second team defense, and the Burgundy team was the first team defense and the second team offense. That makes sense?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what they did is they had the 2 coordinators be the 2 coaches, and then they had some of the position coaches be the play callers and stuff like that. And so part of this was to give other coaches a chance at, let them try their hand at a different role. And this was to promote a way to see if coaches are developing themselves, because everyone's convinced. If you remember last year, people were convinced even before the season started that Kingsbury would do so well that he would leave and go coach again, be a head coach someplace, which didn't happen. And already people are talking now about losing coaches at the end of this year. And so they need to be able to promote from within. If that's the case, if Witt and Kingsbury were to leave, who could step into those positions, or even on lower down the scale position coaches. So they had a scrimmage. There was no full tackling because they didn't want anybody to get hurt. I think it was the white team that won. I really don't even know, but whether I don't know. The gold team won, but they were wearing white jerseys. I don't know, but this is stupid.
I was gonna say I thought it was burgundy and gold teams, but
it was burgundy and gold teams, but the gold team wore white jerseys because the quarterbacks wear gold jerseys so they don't get hit.
Okay.
And the team that had the starters for defense and the second team offense, they won 14-0 for whatever that's worth, and they got a T-shirt for winning.
Ooh, a T-shirt.
A T-shirt.
Wow.
So I went to training camp and all I got was a lousy T-shirt.
God, that's pretty cool. I mean, most of those guys
that might be
can't afford a T-shirt, so
that might be the only thing some of these players walk away with.
That's true. That's all right. Good point.
Let's see. There was an article today on ESPN. They were talking about win-loss, and I know we're not doing predictions, but win-loss ceilings and floors for teams. And so John Keim, who's the ESPN guy for Washington, I'm just going to read this real quick. He said Washington's offense will face more challenges playing 11 games against teams ranked in the top 13 scoring defenses last season. The Commanders need more from their defense, specifically in the fourth quarter. They're ranked 18th in scoring and 13th in yards. But in the fourth quarter, they were ranked 28th or worse in 9 key categories. Their secondary should be much improved with the addition of rookie corner Trey Amos and a healthy Marshawn Lattimore, but the latter needs to be durable, something he hasn't been the past 3 years. A beefed-up defensive line with multiple key additions, including pass rusher Von Miller, needs to produce. And according to John, the ceiling is 12-5, and the floor is 7-10. So we're not into predictions here, but do you think that is a fair assessment of where the team is and a record range of somewhere between 7 and 12 wins? Would that?
Yeah, I mean,
that's a pretty broad range.
It is a broad range, but
well, it's the floor and the ceiling. I mean, it's
I actually, I think that's a fair range. I think that's, I mean,
all right. Well,
no, I'll take that. I yes, it's a big range, but if they have a bad season, like we expect a lot out of them, everyone does. If they have a bad season, I can see the floor being 7. I think they'll still win 7.
Well, and it's easy to say 7 right now because Terry hasn't practiced. Noah Brown is still hurt. Cosme's out. Coleman hasn't been practicing because he's hurt. Connerly still hasn't developed into the starter yet. So your offensive line is not assembled the way we all think it's going to be or hope it's going to be at some point during the season. Lattimore, if he's healthy, great. If he's not, then the corners, we could be in the same boat we were last year, except we won't have Benjamin St. Toast getting beat every other play.
So I mean, so to your points, many of them there, like the floor could be 0. Like they could shit the bed all over the place and win nothing if all the worst of all those things happen.
Well, I don't think they'll go winless. That's kind of like failing Jim. You would have to try and do that.
See, now that you said it, it could happen.
If you can wish it, it can happen. Well, I don't know. It's again, we're still, as we've said the last couple of weeks, there ain't not a whole lot to talk about here. the media is getting excited. It's funny. I was listening to one podcast, and I won't say who it is. I don't want to call the people out, but Jaden Daniels had a pass that he overthrew a receiver, and he overthrew him by several yards. And personally, like, don't read too much of that. Don't read too much into that, because it's just one pass in preseason during an inter-team scrimmage. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're right. I shouldn't read too much into that. But you're part of the same group of media that wets their pants when Jaden throws a dime in a practice where no one's rushing him and no one's covering his receiver. Yeah. So I'm a little confused about what I'm supposed to be excited about or not be excited about.
Well, and of course we're not there. We don't know if the receiver ran the wrong route, or where the miscommunication was, or anything. So there's many factors in that. Who cares?
I'm sure the receiver ran the wrong route.
Look, it's one play. I promise you, there's going to be one or two plays in the regular season where Jaden fucks up.
No.
I promise you.
No.
He's going to have a bad throw, an overthrow. No. He might even fumble the ball. He might even throw an interception.
No.
I'm just like, it could happen.
No. I refuse to believe that. He's Jaden Daniels.
I know.
All right. We'll move on. So the team has nothing to talk about the same way that we do. So today they announced their 2025 jersey schedule. So this is what they're calling the uniforms. So we get them proper. So in weeks 1, 4, 5, 8, 11, 14, 15, and 18, I know you followed all of that. They're going to wear the Monument white jerseys. And then in weeks 2, 3, 7, 10, and 16, they're going to wear Legacy Burgundy, which I guess is like the jersey that Joe has on. And then in weeks 9, 13, and 17, they're going to wear the Super Bowl era jerseys, the throwback jerseys, as it were. And then in week 6 against Chicago, they're going to wear Battle Black. So these colors now have proper names because, well, I don't know why.
Why wouldn't they? Come on.
What?
Come on. That's great.
No.
But they're going to wear white jerseys at home the first week against the Giants. And they're going to wear some of the burgundy jerseys on the road, which is kind of weird to me. But the home team gets to pick the jersey, so they may not have much of a choice with that.
Yeah. But
that was the news from the team. So I mean that's where we are. I don't make it. I just report it.
So we've talked about kickers, jerseys. Terry, we're killing it tonight.
Time to talk about the stadium. Come on.
I did see they started tearing down the outer side of RFK. So there you go.
All right.
All right. So I got one last thing to talk about. And it's just one of those things, but Sportico, whoever they are, came out with the National Football League valuations rankings.
Okay.
So this is how much each team is worth, according to Sportico. Do you want to make a guess at who the number one team is?
Probably still Dallas.
Dallas. Their 2025 value is $12.8 million or $12.8 billion. Yeah. That's up 24% from last year.
Could you imagine how high it would be if they could win?
Right? Can you imagine if they had a different owner, how high that would be? You want to take a guess at who's number 2? Number one was easy. Who's number two?
Chiefs.
Mike, you got a guess?
No, I don't know.
The Chiefs, according to this, are 16th
Whoa.
at a value of 6.53 billion.
Wow.
So the number two team had a 34% increase from last year. Their value is $10.43 billion. The Los Angeles Rams.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably, I'm sure part of that is SoFi Stadium. 3 is the Giants, 4 is the Patriots, 5 is the 49ers, 6th is the Eagles, 7th is the Dolphins, 8 is the Jets. They actually dropped 2 spots. 9 is the Raiders. And coming in at 10th, it's the home team at a value of $7.47 billion.
Wow.
Up from the 6.06 or whatever it was that Harris and Company paid for the team.
Interesting. I actually didn't think they would make the top 10.
They're slightly ahead of Chicago in 11th. Chicago's at 7.45.
Huh.
Now, do you want to take a guess at which team is at the bottom?
Browns.
Cincinnati.
Browns are 23.
The Bengals, really?
5.5 billion.
Oh, wow.
Like
So
pocket change.
everyone's pretty darn close, actually.
Well, the
I mean,
range
if
is
the
5.5 billion to 12.8 billion.
Yeah, but we're at 7 point whatever you said.
Yeah.
7.47.
So it's $2 billion difference for the bottom 22 teams. Is that right?
Well, so bottom team is 5.5. So if I say a 50% increase on that would be what, like 7.5? That would take you up to 10.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the top 3 teams are all over 10 billion. They're 12.8, 10.43, 10.25. And then there's a little bit of a drop off. New England in 4th is 8.76. Not to be confused with 8675309. But that's a whole nother story.
Oh, boy.
So we're not buying a football team.
No.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. We could buy a baseball team. We just need another lottery jackpot to be 2 billion. And then we'd have enough to put a down payment on a baseball team.
How about
Yeah,
a
but
hockey team?
We could probably buy a hockey team too.
That'd be fun.
But Ted's not going to sell his team. So who are you going to buy?
Arizona Coyotes or whatever the hell they were.
They're in Utah now.
Utah.
They just
I
got new
know.
owners.
I know.
You can buy the Nationals. Buy it from the learners. Everybody wants them to sell anyway. So that's about all I got. Like I said, there's really not a whole lot going on. Just some signing some players. The team's still dealing with minor injuries. I thought it was interesting in the inter-team scrimmage that Mariota was not leading the second team offense, but it was Johnson and Hartman, which leads me to believe that Mariota is still a little dinged up. And since Mike, you said that Daniels could be making mistakes during the season, you may need to put the backup in at some point. And right now, the backup that's playing is Johnson, who's played for, I think, 16 teams now in the league. So, but that's what I got. That's you guys got anything you want to add? Anything you want to talk about?
I really thought there was going to be more news when preseason and training camp started, but boy, howdy, was I wrong.
you
Yeah,
are.
it's just let's see.
There's nothing going on.
There really isn't. I mean, I guess we're gonna hope some of these players who are injured get recover up and are able to be ready for the start of the season. Everyone's waiting on bated breath for Terry to sign a contract, so he can start practicing and be ready for week 1. And I guess we'll get a glimpse of some of the starters. I mean, we got a glimpse of what we perceive to be some starters against New England because Trey Amos played a lot. I expect him to start some this year on the outside at cornerback, and Connerly's, I would imagine, is going to start at some point during the season. Maybe not week 1, but I'm sure he'll start. So we'll see what happens, but I guess we just got to wait till Monday and the preseason game, and then we'll talk about that on Wednesday and talk about how great or how bad it was. And I'll probably watch that one. I mean, but you know,
I'll try to make sure I keep you filled in with my fantastic, my take on every play that happens.
well, that's how we stay in the know. It's
You guys weren't watching. I felt like I had to keep you in the know, right?
You know,
I
it was
appreciate it.
helpful to get your updates, so I knew I didn't miss anything, didn't have to watch. So
Exactly. That's you took one for the team, Joe, and we appreciate it.
we do.
Glad I could help.
All right. Well, you guys got anything else to add, or are we gonna put a nice bow on this?
I think we put a little bow on this.
All right.
Good.
Well, then we'll call this
or
one a wrap.
nail in the final coffin.
Put a wrap on this one. As always, we appreciate you watching and listening. Catch us on YouTube. You can like it and comment and subscribe, and don't forget we're on the Apple Podcasts and Spotify podcasts. You can find us there and listen to us, and we appreciate it. And spread the word. Tell your friends how great we are. You just lie to them. It's cool. But until next week, bye.
See ya.